Have you just launched a Google search campaign, but you've noticed that it's not spending your daily budget or it's not spending your daily budget in full, or potentially you have a Google search campaign that has been running and been spending the budget, but lately it hasn't been spending the budget in full. In this video, I'm going to be talking about all the reasons why Google might not be spending your budget. And I'm also going to be talking about some of the fixes that you can implement in order to get things going again. So let me go ahead and take you through a live example. Well, actually, it's not live. It's from an old account that I had audited for a nonprofit for a Google grant. And I'll give you the first reason why Google might not be spending your budget in full, and that is because there's limited search volume around the keywords that you're bidding on. So when I have clients come to me asking to run search campaigns, I always recommend to use the keyword planner so that we can see what type of search volume there is around the specific keywords that we want to target. Because if people are not searching for those keywords, there's really kind of no point in advertising on them. And in this example here on the screen, we have a bunch of keywords, and I have the date range to today, but usually what you'll see here, and when you go to the keywords section in your Google Ads campaign, you will see a column for status, and usually it will tell you if it's low search volume and it's not appearing because of low search volume. So even before you launch a campaign, I'd recommend you to check the keyword planner to make sure that there is search volume in the area that you're wanting to target before you even launch a campaign. That could very well be an issue. Another thing that could be holding you back is that your bids or target CPA goal is set too low for the current cost per clicks. So just to break down what this really means is potentially your bids are too low and you're not bidding to be competitive enough. You're not bidding as high as the other competitors to even appear and be a serious competitor on Google. How would you know if you're bidding high enough? Within the Google Keyword Planner, you will see the recommended top of page bid range and top of page bid range high and top of page bid range low. If you are bidding in that range somewhere above the lower number, you should be able to get action. But if you're bidding severely under the top of page bid range low, you definitely need to increase your bids. If you set your target CPA to aggressively, like a very, very low number, it's just not going to spend because it is not realistically going to be able to hit that target goal. So therefore, it's going to choke and it's not going to spend. So definitely use the keyword planner in order to determine, number one, if there's search volume for your keywords, and two, what is the minimum bid required in order to be competitive. Something else that ties into this is daily budget is too small relative to your average cost per click. I've had this happen before where I audited a Google Ads account. The daily budget was set to $5 a day, but the average click was $15. So if your average click is $15, but you're only letting Google spend $5 a day, there's no way that your campaign's going to be able to take off and get any traction because there is a floor on how much could be is needed in order to even appear. I wish there was a case where you can just name the price that you want to pay with Google, and you can, but realistically, it has to be competitive enough to play with the other players in the market that you're serving. So keep that in mind. You want to make sure that your daily budget is larger than your average cost per click. And I wouldn't say that you'd want to make it just a little bit higher. I'd probably say you want to you would want to aim for at least 10 clicks a day. So get the average cost per click multiplied by 10 in order to come up with your daily budget. So you can realistically get 10 clicks a day, and hopefully will start getting you the traction you need in order to start generating you leads. The next issue could potentially be if you are in the learning phase due to recent changes. If you are using smart bidding within Google Ads, you might be familiar with something called the learning phase. And if you're using maximize conversions, target CPA, maximize clicks, any smart bidding strategy, you need to give Google at least 5 days for learning. So in this period, your performance could be volatile. It might not spend the budget in full. I've had campaigns completely choke and not spend anything for a day or two and then start catching up after that. So I just want you to be aware that when you're making big changes, especially to the bid strategy, you need to give it some time, because that could be the reason why you're not spending your budget in full. Something else to be aware of is disapproved ads and policy issues. So you could go to your ads and see if there's any potential policy issues, and you could actually filter here for disapproved ads and see what's been disapproved. If your ads are disapproved, they're not going to serve, and therefore you're not going to spend your budget. So look at that. Make sure that you don't have anything in there that is impacting your campaign. The next thing is low ad rank caused by weak relevance or poor landing page experience. So this kind of ties into quality score. What you want to do is go to keywords and then scroll over and then make sure that you have these 3 metrics pulled in. You can just go to columns, modify columns, and then pull those 3 metrics in, which would be landing page experience, expected click-through rate, ad relevance. All 3 of these make up quality score within Google. If you have a poor landing page experience, that could definitely be impacting your ability to appear. Now, that's usually not one of the big reasons. I've had clients and potential clients reach out with really, really poor landing page experiences, but their ads are still able to appear. So this is one of the reasons potentially, but it's usually not the number one issue. So look at this. If your landing page experience is really poor across the board, then you will definitely want to look into improving the site speed, load time, and other aspects of your landing page in order to improve your landing page experience. The next thing that you would want to look at if Google's not spending your budget in full would be to see if your audience targeting is too narrow. Audience targeting or even your geography targeting. Sometimes I have some potential clients reach out and they're only targeting a very small set of zip codes with a very, very specific keyword set. So that could be impacting things too, especially if there's not a lot of people in the zip codes that you're targeting searching for what you have to offer. Something else could even be tied into this would be the audiences. Make sure that you're not targeting too tight of audiences, because that's going to make it even harder for you to attract the right type of clicks anyway. So look at your audience, make sure that you don't have too much constraint or restriction. And if you do, you definitely want to look at opening things up and allowing your campaign to breathe and start getting the spend that you need in order to get the results that you want. The next thing would be negative keywords potentially blocking your valid searches. This is more of an issue that you would see for a more mature campaign if you had someone new that came in to manage it and they just added a bunch of negative keywords and then you're wondering why it didn't spend. Look at your search history or your change history to see what negative keywords have been recently added that could have been bringing the volume down. And then also, usually not the biggest issue, but you should look into, because this is really critical, missing or weak conversion tracking signals, limiting Google's confidence. So if you don't have conversion tracking, don't even run Google ads. I would just say if you don't even have the Google conversion tracking in place, just turn off your ads right now until you can get that in place. Assuming that you do have that in place and assuming that it is set up correctly, that should be able to give Google the signals that's needed if you're using smart bidding in order to go capture. Like I mentioned, this is usually not the main issue. The biggest things that could potentially be causing it out of everything that I've listed here could be the limited search volume on your keywords, bidding too low, setting a small daily target budget when your average cost per click is much higher. Those are usually the big three. And then after that, I see campaigns in the learning phase potentially. So if you've made a big change to your ad campaign, give it a few days before you start worrying that it's not spending your budget in full before looking at these other issues. So with that being said, that's what I have for you for this video as to why Google might not be spending your budget. If you have any questions or would like audit or managed services and you're spending at least $2,000 a month, check out the link below and I'd be more than happy to have a discussion with you. If you found this video helpful along with the tips on how to improve, feel free to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel. I post videos every week about Google Ads and I'll see you guys in the next one.